All right, now I'm officially recording this session, which means we are starting and goal is dropping. So hopefully we get a lot of momentum here. Um, because I do want to see this trade drop, but again, not gonna force it if it's not gonna happen. But let's I'm gonna take the attention away from gold so that we don't get distracted with the explanation. And I'm just gonna use this right here as an example. All right. Let's say that I call a zone, right? Like you said. So this will represent the zone, and let's say this is about 70 to 90 pips, right? So let's say that I call an entry on 46.21 to 46.29, which is the entry that we have right now, okay? So let's say this is the case. All right, this is the case, and this is how many pips? Who can tell me in the chat? Because again, I hope you guys know how to calculate pips because it's important. All right, Denja, very good. 80 pips. So this is 80 pips. What do you do when you have an entry area between a big range like 70 to 90 pips or 80 pips in this case? What you want to do is you don't want to take only one entry and take it here, right? Because you'll be stuck. And I'm gonna just put this as an example, but let's say you have a $10,000 account leverage or amplified to 100K, or even if it's a normal $10,000 account. Let's say you're using a one lot, which is okay for that account. Let's say you're using one lot. If you only take one entry at the beginning here, you're going to be stuck in the trade at a negative balance. So you could be floating negative 800, 900, $1,000, right? And you'll be stuck. So instead of just taking one entry at a big lot size, you need to divide your risk between multiple entries, because in that way you're going to have more range of profit as well. And so let's say this is a range, right? This right here is a range, and let's say that you want to risk $1,000. You want to risk $1,000. Now the range is not the stop loss. This is just the entry area. The stop loss, I never tell you guys the stop loss, but it's usually above a higher resistance. All right. We don't want to put the stop loss at the resistance because we know it's going to hit. All right. And I already explained this in the academy, in the videos. We don't want to do that. We want to put it above the resistance so that we have a chance to have it. All right. Let's wait, guys, for more questions. Leonard, I'm going to finish answering the first question, and then I'll go with you. Okay. So again, we want to put the stop loss above the higher resistance. And so with that in mind, just know that you have all of this area as a stop loss. So that means that you need to be very smart with the risk that you're using. So if I want to risk $1,000 between here and here, so if I want to risk $1,000 between that area, I have to know how to do it properly. And that's what I'm going to teach you. So let's say that you want to take 20 entries. So we divide one lot in 20, that's 0.05, right? You want to make sure that the $1,000 risk, it's between the start of the entry and the resistance of the stop loss that you put. Okay. And now you just start adding the entries. So if you want to have a peace of mind, I would do half of what you're risking. So instead of 0.05 per entry, I would put 0.02. So I would put the first couple entries here, then I will keep adding another entry, then I will keep adding and adding as we go. until I fulfill the 20 entries that I wanted to take. Now, that's just an example. You can do as you please, because at the end of the day, you are the trader. You're the one taking and making the decisions, right? So I'm just telling you what I do, because this is what I do, all right, as a trader. Now, why do you take a lot of entries with a small lot size? Because let's say you took a lot of entries here and the trade starts going down. Even if these entries are negative, you already will be at profit with all these other entries. In that way, you're mitigating or getting a better result from the equation, if we want to put it that way. I don't have the exact word in English right now. It went away, but I have the word in Spanish. It's called mitigar, which I think it's close to English. Mitigating, maybe not. But in that way, you're just avoiding holding a trade with a high risk, only taking it here. Okay, that's the way that I do it. So if you have a range, for example, in this one, it's 80 pips. You want to take multiple entries with the lower lot size at a risk that you already set. Now, I don't want you guys to just take entries thinking that this is fun, I'm never gonna lose, whatever. Because when we lose, you're gonna lose your account for being, I'm sorry for the expression, but for being dumb, thinking that we never lose. And I see this happening a lot with a lot of students that I teach. They think that I'm a magician and that I never lose. And when I do lose, you lose your account because you don't know how to manage your risk. Now, when you divide the lot between a lot of entries, you're avoiding that. As long as you're doing the math correctly and that you have this in mind, that you have a max area where to exit, you should be good. Okay? Now let's answer more questions over here. So I started learning with tag markets through Shiro in February with Humpberry. How would you recommend effectively going about learning your information? Start with the academy, okay? I don't know what Shiro is or what Humpberry. I don't even know if I'm saying it right, but start. Let me log in into my account. Once I log in, I'll show you. Give me 1 second. Okay. So what you want to do is you want to go to the academy right here, where you probably enter this live session, I hope, and make sure you are in English, okay? And you're gonna watch this course, right? That's the best way to start with my information. Once you watch that course, you go to live sessions and you go to pass and you watch all of these, all right? All of these. We usually, we take 15 minutes, 30 minutes max per session. So it's really not a lot of time, but there is a lot of information here that you could watch so that you can start understanding how we trade, okay? I want to thank you for your knowledge and support. Thank you for allowing me to get to know you here. Thank you, Patrick, for being a hero and always being here. I mean, I know you're gonna keep making money. It's just a matter of keep going, right? But you're doing great. Second question to my first question: what if we fill the entry range up to 29, then down to 21, and up again to 29? Would you enter again? Then at 29, I don't think I understand, but I think I do. So you're saying that what if, we go up and down and up and down in this range? Like I said, you can take as many entries as you have set between this range. Doesn't matter if it's going up and down, up and down. Now, if the trade went down and we are already at 80 pips to 100 pips, and if it went back up, I wouldn't suggest to re-enter, because usually 100 pips is a good area to start exiting the trades. So I wouldn't recommend. So usually my trades go for 100 to 300 pips, sometimes 400 pips in profit. But that's the range, 100 to 300. It's usually the for sure. So people start taking profits at 100, and if the trade goes back to the area, I wouldn't recommend retaking more. Okay. Okay, when you open all the trades at 0.02, are you just clicking again and again to open 20 trades on sell or buy market? In this occasion, it's a sell, and I wouldn't click all of the 20 trades at once. That's exactly what I didn't say. I don't want to take all the 20 trades here. I want to be in the market, and I want to take the trades here, 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 here as we go. Okay. As we move within the range of entry, I want to divide all those trades and take them separately. Charlotte, yes. Yes, yes. Let me send it in the chat after this session. Do the different number of check marks in the Telegram signal group have a relevance? No, it doesn't. That's just an emoji I use. So that's a great question. Yes, that's a great relevant question. Usually, I will hold 100 pips higher than the last entry. So if my last entry is 29, I will hold until 39. That means that I will hold from 21 to 39. Okay. But again, this don't hurt me because I have smaller entries here with small losses, and I'm starting to divide my risk between different areas. But that's a great question. So for example, on this trade, if we were to take that in consideration, we lost, right? I am holding a little bit longer to see if we can finally like do something from here, because this is my higher entry. Like this is my higher resistance, sorry. So this is my higher resistance, and I have my stop loss just above the higher resistance. In this occasion, like the example that we have the trade running, 39 was the stop loss, not just because it's 100 pips from 29, but it's because 37, it's the highest resistance, and our stop loss was a little bit above that. Does that make sense? So you see the logic behind that. And like I said, you're gonna lose trades because you're going to lose trades. I hope you know that. I hope nobody told you that you're gonna win 100% of the time, because right now I'm gonna destroy your dream at this moment and tell you that that's a lie. Right? You're gonna lose trades, and we're gonna lose trades, but we're always gonna win more, and that's the goal, right? Always win more than we lose, and I think we've proven that. Apart from breakup structure and retest, what other valid entry setups do you prefer? I always like patterns. So I'm not sure if I haven't teach you guys this much, but like W patterns, M patterns, rock patterns. If you were in my session yesterday, we went over a little bit on the not the W, on the rock sign pattern, and we saw that sell. I mean, if you were on my session yesterday, you made like a lot of money because we took this sell and it was 200 pips, right? And it was because of a pattern. So I like to keep it simple. I don't like to put like indicators and all that stuff. So usually just patterns, which in this case, a break of a structure is a pattern. So that's what I like to keep it simple. I always go out of the trades early at 50 pips, and then it drops even much more. How long would you go? It depends on it depends on your goals. Like I can't really get inside you because it's really up to you. Like if 50 pips makes you comfortable and it makes you good money, that's good. Even if it drops more, you have to get out of that like mindset that, oh, I missed so much profit. No, you made what you were willing to make, right? Now, if you, like I said, I always go 100 pips at least. That's my main goal. 100 pips at least, because 100 pips in gold, it's already a good amount of profit. 200, 300, it's great. It's amazing. But 100 pips is the usual, right? But I can't tell you, hey, change 50 pips to 100, because it might affect your mindset, and it will affect it. You know, if you change to 100 and you start losing trades, you're going to be like, I knew I shouldn't change to 100, but it's just part of, changing the routine. So I can't really tell you how long to go because you have to set that up. When getting out of the trade, are we setting up? We're setting a stop loss and exit price per trade once they're all open? No. Usually, my trades don't take that long. Now, the trade from last night for me, which was morning for you guys, but last night for me, it took 8 hours to develop. In that occasion, I do set a stop loss for every single trade, and it's the same stop loss. All right, in that occasion. But if I'm awake, if I'm alive, if I'm running, if I'm going, I usually don't because I would just rather close them all in profit or negative. Okay. But I usually don't put a stop loss because I have the stop loss in my head. I have alerts that tell me, when to exit. So that's usually just for me. Okay. Danja, 100 pips from the higher entry. Okay. 100 pips from the higher entry because remember, you're dividing your risk. You're putting entries as you go. So you will have more entries above than below, right? These are great questions, guys. The Spanish speaking session was like 2 or 3 questions. You guys are really getting in deep with this, which I like. Any other questions? Any other questions? Okay. What would you recommend if someone trades only with small account? Yes, if you have a small account, you don't really have a lot of like room. So just be smart on because you don't also want to like burn your account quick. If you're only trading with $500 or $1,000, you're going to have to stick with 0.01, and you're going to have to do the math of like, okay, if it hits my stop loss and I put 10 entries, how much is that, right? So just make sure you have that in mind before entering a trade. Now, you don't have to do this for every single trade because my trades are all the same. So you don't have to recalculate everything. Just do it once, have that in mind, and execute. Let's see. What time do you usually trade? What hours are the best for you? I don't believe in hours. Uh, that is a question that it's asked a lot between a lot of traders. Oh, what's your favorite session? What's your favorite time? I don't really believe in times because and it's the same thing for like um shoot, I forgot what I was gonna say. Like, anyways, I don't believe in times because if I do, I'm setting myself for failure because I will put in my mind, oh, I shouldn't trade around this time because I'm gonna lose, right? No, I just trade whenever I see an opportunity and if I have room. So if I made my goal in New York, I'm not gonna trade the rest of the day, right? But if I haven't made my goal and I still have some room, I'm gonna trade Asia, right? Asia market. So there's really not a favorite time for me. Okay. This message is private. I will not be in Dubai. I'm sorry. Uh, yeah, I'm gonna be in Costa Rica on that time that you mentioned, doing an event for my team in tag. But Dubai, I might go before the World Cup or after the World Cup. Okay. Do you hold long trades over trends, days, and weeks? I do and do not. I don't do it often. Like the last time I held a trade was 2 months ago, and I held it for a week. because I knew that gold was gonna go up. Okay. I knew the gold was gonna go up, and so I held it. I made like 20 grand, or no, I made more. I made 50 grand, and that was it, right? But it took a whole week, and it took me knowing that I was gonna get charged the swap fee, commission fees, every kind of fee possible, right? So yeah, you can hold trades, but just know that you're gonna have to go through pain. But it all depends on the style that you manage. I usually just do intraday, which means within the day, within the session, within a couple hours. Do you prefer using MetaTrader on the desktop or app? Does it make a difference in your opinion? It does. And that is very personal. Like it really depends on you and your preferences, but it does make a difference. I know a lot of traders that only trade on the desktop MetaTrader, but I hate it. I hate it because it looks ugly and you can't really understand it, or at least for me. And so I only trade on my phone. So every dollar I made in trading, I made it from my phone, literally, with the app. Okay. What do you set as your daily gold pips or money? 100 pips is the minimum. I don't set for less. And usually when I'm trading, I go daily between $5,000 to $10,000. That is my goal because of my account, because of everything else, right? That is my goal. It's not yours, right? You have to go up in the escalator of success to get to certain points. Okay. Love these questions, guys. We have 4 more minutes before we end the session. But I really love this. I mean, I wish there was more people connected. So I'm going to leave you guys a job, and that is to promote this live sessions with your teams. So everybody has to come. It's free, guys. There's literally no excuse. And I think people think that because it's free, they don't take it too serious, right? So maybe we should start charging. Just kidding. We won't charge. It's free. It's free. It's free. So, but I do want to see commitment. I do want to see more people. That's why I recognize a lot of you guys' name. Like, for example, Patrick. Patrick can send me a message whenever he wants, and I'm gonna answer. But because he's been here almost every session, and he always participates. He's always learning. He's always showing up. And so yeah. So you guys have a mentor, a friend. Just make sure to always plug in. When are the sessions? Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. Monday and Wednesday are at the time that you just like log in, right? That was an hour ago, or I'm sorry, 30 minutes ago. So Monday and Wednesday is 30 minutes ago. All right, the start of the session. And Tuesday is just 30 minutes later. I don't know if that makes sense, but you always have the hours in the academy whenever I open registration for the classes, and you're always going to see it in your time zone. Because again, it's hard for me to tell you, oh yeah, the session starts at 12 p.m. my time, which is mountain time. I don't know where you guys are from. Most of you are from the other side of the world, so it's kind of hard for me to tell you at a specific time. Do you recommend having a larger initial investment than 500 to start or to stop blowing accounts? No, it really doesn't matter. You can do this with whatever balance. Like I've seen people flip with my strategy or the way that I trade. I've seen people flip $500 accounts to $5,000 accounts. So they flip 500 to 5,000, and it's crazy, but it works. You just have to, again, know how many trades you're going to take and all that. But the account size doesn't really matter because you can burn a $50,000 account the same way you burn a $500 account. And if all you can start is with 500, then start with 500, right? All right, guys. Well, I'm still in the trade. Just for your information, if any of you are still in the trade, cool. Just know that if it breaks this area, I will exit. If it doesn't, we're still in, at least for me, okay? Because I'm holding here. I'm not trading right now, okay? I'm not trading right now, but I'm holding in my mind. I'm holding in my mind, and I'm holding in another another account I have over there. I'm not gonna say, but another account. But in my main account, I'm not really trading because I have already made a lot last month and this month. So until where you're holding this one, until I made my goal in our 100 pips minimum, or we can hold until here, which is the same area that I spoke about yesterday. All right, guys. Thank you so much for joining today. I really appreciate you all. Thank you for the support, and thank you for killing it, because you are there every single day. And believe me, guys, trading is an amazing career if you don't give up. And I say this not just for trading, but for any career. If you want to be a great network marketer, if you want to be a great entrepreneur, if you want to be a great doctor, a great anything, you just have to keep going and don't give up. All right, guys, have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful week. And we'll see you next week on Monday. Bye bye, guys.